what do you think about when you are holding your product and you're thinking about like the kids who are going to be using this, the kind of like core mission of what you guys are doing is so antithetical to like modern tech. Modern tech is get them addicted, get them using the product as much as possible, make as much money off this product as much as possible. And you guys have this product that is blue light free, enables you to have some privacy components that modern tech basically just kind of ignores. And so you're actually building something that's tech, but it's very different than what we're used to. So what do you think about when, you start to think about the future and like kids using this and parents using this and then actually enabling like a whole different relationship with technology than what we have right now?
If I'm perfectly honest, I get actually kind of a bit sad. Because to me, that's such an empowering, powerful vision. Like, I think the science is getting more and more clear that blue light and the stimulation and all the bings and bobs and notifications and distractions on a computer, it like changes your brain. Like the rates of autism and ADHD. There's a theory that blue light changes in a pregnant mother. It changes the way the neuronal crest in her baby develops. And when that is literally, it's called the kinetic isotope effect. When it affects the thalamus, that shows up as autism. It's still a new theory, but it's like pretty interesting. And so I just think it could have such enormous impact. Like I think about it, like would Tolstoy be able to write the books he did if he was trying to do it on an iPad with YouTube and ESPN and Twitter right beside? Like,
No.
Like, holy fuck, man. Like what future Tolstoys are we losing because of these things we're throwing? This is like a never done before in history, right thing. Like give a little kid infinite magic, right? Like it's a beautiful quote. Like if you want godlike power, you need to have godlike wisdom to use it responsibly. It's like the Spider-Man thing, right? Great power, great responsibility. Essentially, you're giving a kid insane power, right? It's like you just gave them the keys to a candy store and you're like, do whatever the fuck you want. It's not the kid's fault for fucking trying to eat everything, right? Like wisdom takes time. And so I think there's a lot of sadness because I see the great possibility to help. And maybe it's a daylight computer that helps. Maybe it's a daylight phone. Maybe it's a daylight laptop. Maybe it's some Chinese person that knocks us off and makes it for a quarter of the price. And that's what gets popular into the world. Even if we fail, I'd be happy if that happened, right? Or maybe it's Apple. Apple says, fuck these nincompoops, and we're going to come out with the Apple Health Edition. I don't know. Maybe Tim Cook actually does that announcement. Maybe he gets the balls to actually do that. And that's what people use. I think what's sad is in spite of that possibility for impact, still how there's such a high reasonable chance that we fail. And I think the reasons we fail is people think the price is too high. I think, if you compare it to how much you spend on health and how much your health matters, I don't think the price is high at all. But I think people might bring a different frame and think the price is too high. I think it fails because people says, why would I buy a computer that does less? Like I want more bang for my buck. I want it to do more things. And I think that's like not really the right frame because a computer can do more, but if you're just overwhelmed and distracted, unhealthy, you're doing less, right? Like I love the phrase like a computer that does less so you can do more, right? So if you bring that frame, you're like, well, of course I pay money so I can do more. But I'm afraid people might not have that frame and then they might not. They may poo-poo it like, oh, it does less, right? It's black and white. And I think the third reason is it's just hard to make hard choices. Like if your entire life is in the Apple ecosystem, like there's gonna be some frictions to move to something that's not made by Apple, right? Like I think it's survivable. I think you can still use your iPhone and MacBook for other stuff, right? It's a complementary thing. But I think people are gonna be like, I have to do 2 steps to copy something over rather than 1 step, I need to use their share sheet rather than airdrop it, or I need to use Beeper or text.com to get iMessage on their phone or whatever it may be on our tablet. And so I think the third reason it fails is just people have really high standards for what technology is today because they're used to a $3 trillion company making their stuff. I think they're used and coddled and in the convenience of the Apple ecosystem. And so I hope through the right education, through the right people talking about it, through the right ways of, hey, this is philosophically different. This isn't about more choice, right? This is about more intentional choice. This isn't about a million colors and contrast and specs. It's about your health and feeling better. And so I get sad at the possibility that I'm too idealistic, we're too idealistic for the culture that exists, and it fails. And to your point, it could have so much positive impact, either directly or indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that the benefits of using daylight, not having blue light exposure, being able to enjoy a sunny day at Barton Springs and read a book on there, for me at least, I know I'm biased, would far outweigh the benefits of potentially being able to integrate iMessage. It's like, I actually would probably want to use daylight because I literally don't want my
You don't want
text to pop up while I'm
I want
reading a book. I want to be
distractions.
immersed in the experience. Right? It goes back to what you were saying about like all of the creation that we've lost out on because people are just like jumping from app to app to app, the dopamine hit where it's like you need those blocks of like deep creative work. And I actually think that using daylight will facilitate that. And I think people will wake up to that too.